Hey everyone, welcome into the Voice of College Football Nebraska Live. Sorry, we are an hour late. You guys are loyal. Thank you so much for that. I had left a message in the live chat earlier just concerning that we may not be on tonight or we would be on later. We just had a situation with Greg, and he's at Big Ten Media Days to cover the Huskers, and apparently lost luggage and travel issues and getting back to the hotel. And because of the lost luggage, isn't able to connect. And so Greg will not be joining us tonight, but we do appreciate everybody being here at the Voice of College Football. I will let you know what I think of what was stated at Big Ten Media Days with Scott Frost and Trev Alberts. And we'll talk to all of you as well. I know I'm not Greg, who's in Indianapolis. And of course, we wanted to hear from him, but I will give you what I got. First, let's dive into any kind of questions we've got from all of you. Good to see Tim here and Husker fans all over the place. Tim, USC fan, Husker fans all over the place as well. Fox, how are you? Good to see you. Fox, we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for that. Okay. I checked out Scott Frost's efforts at the podium. Nothing too spectacular there. Not a knock on him, just nothing that insightful by him or was asked of him that really pushed him. What's he going to be asked about? What is Scott Frost going to be asked about? He's going to be asked about being 3-9, being so close in one-score games, making tons of mistakes and mental errors that cost them games, and what are they doing about it? So I'm sure we can go online and find a lot of side sessions that Scott Frost had with reporters in which he may have opened up a little bit more. But from the podium, that's all I've seen so far because I've been here pretty much since early this afternoon, is that they've made a ton of progress. But he understands that they haven't played a game yet, so he can't prove that. But they have made a ton of progress in the offseason. He's excited about the team and himself going to Ireland, but also has been emphasizing to the team that this is not a bowl trip. You didn't do anything to earn this. This was scheduled. It's not a bowl trip. So it's a regular season game. It's a Big Ten game. And much like last season, losing to Illinois on the road to get the season started, that's not a way to go. Of course, Scott Frost didn't say this, but I will say based on Northwestern's talent and stature right now in the Big Ten and coming off a deplorable season, which they lost to the Huskers by 7 touchdowns, Nebraska has to win this game. They have to beat Northwestern. So he said they're excited, but also there are challenges in the travel and everything else going to Ireland to play Northwestern. NIL, Scott Frost gives thumbs up to the university and the athletic department concerning NIL and what they've done to prepare Nebraska to be in the best position possible for NIL. Our buddy Steve Hellwagon from Bucknuts, I heard his voice asking Scott Frost a question. Had to do with the one-score games and the close losses and what they were going to do about that. Scott Frost couldn't really point to anything because he said it wasn't one thing. It wasn't like it was always an interception or always turning the ball over or always a secondary breakdown. It was something every week. It was something different every game. That makes it more difficult to pinpoint. Therefore, it comes down to killer instinct. That's what he called it. That was the only specific response that Scott Frost had about losing all the one-score games. Killer instinct. And then, of course, his newfound emphasis on special teams. He was asked about the relationship with Trev Alberts and how that's progressing. Scott Frost really said nothing that wasn't cliched about that, except the good thing is that we're both Huskers, meaning we know what this university, this football program is all about. And since it's born and bred in us, we are like-minded that way. I'm putting words in his mouth, but that's what I got out of it. Now, Trev Alberts had more to say about his relationship with Scott Frost and that progression. And he said, just like any other relationship, a marriage or a personal relationship with a friend, you get to know each other better and better and better and better. That's a good thing because you can anticipate and you better understand and are on the same page going forward. Trev Alberts really likes the move. You can tell beyond the words, he really likes the move of USC and UCLA in the Big Ten. Said it was a bold move in this college football landscape. Got to make bold moves, got to be decisive, got to do what's best for the conference. Loved it. Talked about the various ADs getting together to talk about challenges that are facing collegiate athletics and college football in particular. Didn't really expound upon that except to say we haven't found the answers, but at least we've defined the challenges. That's actually pretty key. If everybody's on the same page in terms of defining the challenges, that's a key step. Trev Alberts will not commit to a win total because he says there are too many factors that play into it. Okay. The only one he brought up, though, were injuries. That one I'm not buying because, yes, half of the offense can get hurt and you could excuse away the season. But aside from ridiculous season-ending catastrophic injuries, whether that be to key players or to mounds of players, aside from that, I don't think a record tells the whole story. I've seen 9-3 teams that were pretty darn weak. And I think the Nebraska team from 2016 is a pretty good example of that. They started 7-0, smoke and mirrors, didn't play anyone, then finally played some good teams and got mauled. Then I've seen some teams like the Nebraska team from last season at 3-9. Were they good? I'm not going to go to the point to say 3-9 Nebraska was good, but better than their record? Absolutely. Probably the best 3-9 team I can remember. Not probably, the best 3-9 team I can remember. So there are caveats to the record. If I'm making that evaluation of Scott Frost, if I'm Trev Alberts, then I at least want to see 6-6 bowl game appearance. We've got to start there. 6-6 bowl game appearance. It has to start there. Beyond that, I would take into consideration what's going on in these games. Because if they go, I don't have the schedule in front of me, but they could go 8-4. And if they go 8-4 and I'm Trev Alberts, Scott Frost is going to keep his job. No doubt. Even if in the 4 losses they lose by 50 points each game, there would be concerns. But I'd say you hit the mark at 8-4. You are still the head coach at Nebraska. But anything less than that, 7-5, 6-6, in that range, I'm evaluating what that 7-5 or 6-6 looks like. Because to me, yes, the record is who you are. That's the bottom line. You are what your record says you are. Yes, it's football. It's athletics. All that matters the win, the loss. But you can gain so much in making an evaluation on a coach or a coaching staff or where the program stands based on the evaluation of the play on the field beyond the win or the loss. They're playing Michigan this season in the Big House. Do they lose that game once again? Well, that would be a disappointment, but it is Michigan on the road. And let's say it's a Michigan team that goes 10-2, 11-1, and Nebraska loses 30-27. You don't like to lose, but okay, that's one level of evaluation versus they go to Michigan and lose 52-10. They're not competitive. They're not even close. That's a different evaluation. And it's obviously not all about one game because anybody can lose big, almost anybody, not Alabama, but almost anybody can lose big one game. But it's about looking at the totality of the performance beyond the wins and losses, for me, at least. So much like Trev Alberts, I don't buy into simply a win total. It starts there. That's the starting point. But if I were Trev Alberts, 5-7, I would have to be overwhelmingly convinced, based on a lot of factors, including injuries, that our program is headed in the right direction, and I can excuse 5-7, and Scott Frost keeps his job. 6-6, 7-5 is more of a on the fence evaluation. 8-4, even if it's an ugly 8-4 with 4 50-point losses, he hit his mark. 8-4. I may not be happy with the performance on the field, but you go from 3-9 to 8-4, you're keeping your job, and probably even 7-5, despite what that looks like. Trev Alberts also talked about the new coaching additions being remarkable. Mark Whipple, Mickey Joseph in particular, named them by name. We know what they've done in the past, and most notably at LSU and at certainly Pitt with Mark Whipple. Then he flat out said that the sellout streak is important and that they are working on and going to be unveiling some certain type of ticket packages to help the consumer. Kyle says that Athlon Sports is predicting Nebraska and Kansas State in a bowl game. How interesting would that be? It would be interesting. Yeah, of course, Adrian Martinez, that's the deal there. Plus, it's the Big Ten and the Big 12, and it's a former Big 12 against the Big 12. I'm going to check out all the comments coming in. We're going to go through those, but at the same time, I want to cover Big Ten Media Days, and the best way to do that is obviously to watch them. And so I made sure that I saw Kirk Ferentz for our Iowa show, but only Kirk Ferentz from the podium. And then with Scott Frost, again, I saw him from the podium, didn't see the side interviews. So I may have more to say when I check all that out, because I've been pretty much here live since noon Eastern time. Check out our Texas A&M live stream. We're doing something with Texas A&M and others that don't have these team channels with the specific team live streams, where we're doing a fall camp kickoff series live to Texas A&M today. We got Notre Dame, Clemson, and LSU lined up to do. No doubt, Willie. No doubt. So I'll say what I've stated 100 times. Scott Frost, first season, he dealt with the roster. He dealt with issues. You're going to have a cleaning out, weeding out situation period of time. Okay? So he starts 0-6. And then the last 6 games of 2017, Nebraska was a legit football team. Suddenly they flipped the switch, and they beat 4 pretty good teams. And the only 2 games they lost were nail biters. Last play of the game to Iowa, top 15 team, and then one of the best teams in the country, Ohio State, only beat them 36-31. So they turned the corner seemingly in 2017. So many people looked at that. 2018, wow, they're going to be better. 4-8. 2019, no better, no better, no better, no better, all these seasons. So yes, I think there is a honeymoon period. There's a period of understanding when a new coach takes over a bad program and bad team, that if he goes from we're losing by 3 and 4 touchdowns to boom, we're staying in games with good opponents, then you understand that. That's a good sign early. But if it persists for 4 or 5 years, check out my Nebraska-Minnesota recap. When Minnesota beat Nebraska last year, I came on with an instant analysis. Check that out. You'll hear exactly what I had to say, where I picked apart Scott Frost's coaching decisions in the fourth quarter because they made no sense. That's what I mean. So Kyle says they need to do better than 6-6 because of the supposed recruiting. Well, the recruiting's not that good. It's okay. It's not that good. Look at Nebraska's recruiting. Their last recruiting class wasn't that good. Did they get a 4-star? One? And a bunch of 3-stars? So Kyle, you're bringing up what could be a dilemma in certain situations when, let's say if Jimbo Fisher goes 8-4 the next 2 years and still brings in the number 1 rated recruiting class in the nation, you're like, okay, well, he's bringing in all this talent, but we keep going 8-4. At some point, that's got to give, and we need to see the results on the field. Same thing here with Nebraska, and the recruiting for Nebraska has not been that good. Mike Riley brought in top 18 to 25 classes. So did Bo Pelini. Their class last year was number 41. The actual recruiting class was 41. Now, with the transfer portal rating of 7, best class in the Big Ten, that ups the mark to number 32 because of Casey Thompson and all the other transfer portal additions. O'Shawn Mathis, etc. Of course. See, in 2021, so just recruiting out of high school, Scott Frost recruiting classes 41, 20, 17, 23. So he's gone 23, 17, 20, 20, 41. So they had a bad class last season. And in 23, we're looking at so far, I don't know that it means a whole lot, but with Nebraska, this probably does mean something. They're number 32 right now. It's probably where they're going to land. Number 32 with 14 hard commits. That's pretty much average about what everyone else has at this point. And again, that 41 class from last season, again, great job in the transfer portal. Just talking high school recruiting here. 2 4-stars, Jaden Gould and Janarian Bonner. Okay. Stephen, good point about the low recruiting numbers. 18. Yeah, that's a little low. That's a little low. I wish 247 Sports would do they show you the average, but they don't have a ranking that would show you the average star ranking for the class. I don't know what that was. Ferris is promoting and giving the thumbs up to our Texas A&M stream from earlier today. I enjoyed it. We had a good time. Texas A&M Live. Go to the main channel, check it out. Also, you can subscribe to our Texas A&M channel. We need to get to 1,000 subs. We're around 500. So again, appreciate everybody being here. And again, I am going to get rolling on Big Ten Media Days. I've DVR'd everything, and we'll try to get to probably Harbaugh. And of course, tomorrow's another 7 coaches. So I want to get to Harbaugh and Frost for sure. I've already checked out Scott Frost, but I want to see some of the side interviews that were recorded and posted on YouTube as well. All right. All right. Anything else for me? Otherwise, on Wednesday, it's always a big day on Wednesday. The Ohio State show has been moved to Thursday. So on Wednesday, we've got Michigan at 5, Florida State at 6, Miami at 7. Good to see everyone. Be back here next Tuesday. Next Tuesday at 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And possibly, I'm not going to guarantee this, but if we can get together with Greg later this week, we will do that to review Big Ten Media Days. All right. Thanks for the support here at the Voice of College Football. We will see you on Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern, Michigan Live.